You can't keep getting away with it! He can't keep getting away with it!
He won't.
All right. Good evening, Who That Nation. Welcome to the WDN Chatline podcast. It's the host CB. I hope you guys are having a wonderful start to your week. I had the day off today, but my week starts tomorrow. But I hope you guys enjoyed your day today. I definitely did. So this is how we're gonna do this right quick. This will not be a long post game show. So what I'm gonna do is it's really not too much to talk about on the post game show. I'm not about to spend all night whining and pissing a fit and all of that because basically as you guys see the game, y'all see exactly how we got down in the ball game. It's nothing really need to be said. I will just hit on a few players that was exposed and torched and things of that such. Uh, and then that'll pretty much be the show. I will say this at the start. I'm going to watch the Detroit and Ravens game. I'm going to just keep it, a band with y'all. So what I'm going to do, as I said last week on my show, I'm going to start having a weekly call-in show. So this week's call-in show will be Wednesday night. I'm not sure of the time, but you guys stay tuned. I will have the details for you guys soon, and I will do better at letting you guys know when the show and time is. That's just like tonight. I just popped up, but I would give you guys hours in advance of when the show is going to be Wednesday. So just stay tuned for that. Trust me, you guys are have your time on the mic to you know let your bars off, as my guy Brian say. But anyway, let me get to the comment section. I see my guy JT in the building. What's up, OG? Blessing CB. See Hurricane Mike in the building. Said, who that? Who that to you, fam? Shout out to the OG Jerry Porsey at WDN. Who that to you, fam? Jerry said also on to the next game. Absolutely, fam. Absolutely on to the next game. Okay, so boy, before I even get on offense and defense, man, basically I'm gonna talk about those matchups, but really what got us in the hole was special teams. Special teams reared its head today. Um we didn't capitalize on special teams. And to be honest, like far as the crowd did play a part in that block punt, I believe. But basically just special teams, that's what caused us for the most part to get in the deficit. But I'm gonna get on that a little bit later. So let me just go ahead and get on the offensive side. Offensive side of the ball. Okay, so basically I'm gonna read out some numbers, then I'm gonna chirp on that, then I'm gonna get on the other side of the ball. So our offensive side, Spencer Rattler, 28 of 39 for 218 yards, one TD. The interception happened at the end of the game. Basically, after halftime, the ball game was over. So in that type of situation, what was the score? What, three to 28 or 3-33, something like that at halftime? The game over. So you're taking a lot of chances throwing the football, and The defense know you're going to be chunking the football, and it's a high chance that you're going to turn the ball over. That's just what it is. But even at that, Rattler really didn't turn it over until late in the fourth quarter. Um, and I'm not trying to take up for him. That's just keeping it 100. Like you guys know, I'm always keep it 100. I'm not trying to take nobody off the hook. And to be honest, um, I'm just being real. Rattlers play in this game again hasn't been the reason we're in the deficits. Now, did I see a few more throws that he could have had back? Absolutely. It's a few throws that he could have made better, but in the sense, um, things that we've been repeatedly talking about for as penalties offensively, those things bit us today, and the Seahawks took every advantage off of every single penalty. So just starting offensively, let me read some more stats. AK 18 attempts of 42 yards, 2.3 yards a carry. That wasn't hitting on nothing. The run game, they shut the run game down. Kendrick Miller had 7 attempts for 27 yards, 3.9 a pop. Okay, decent. Brandon Cooks had 3 receptions for 24 yards. Juwan had 6 receptions for 51 yards. AK 1 reception. AK having 1 reception. That's not winning football for us. Chris Olave had 10 receptions for 57 yards. Now I want y'all to let that sink in. 10 receptions for 57 yards. And this supposed to be our number 1 receiver. So let that sink in while I read some more. Shaheed had 4 receptions for 42 yards. That's 10.5 yards a pop compared to 5.7 yards a pop. And then Jack Stoll had 2 receptions for 21 yards. So basically, that defensive line, it was concerning for me going into that game. They was up in our guys' face, stopping the run game. So when you shut out the run game, now Rattler has to throw the ball 39 times. And a lot of that, I know we was behind. So I know that's why he had to throw the football as well. But so we had that shutout. And I will say, once they scored the first touchdown, I believe it was either second or third possession. We got the ball. We was moving it a little bit. Got to a fourth down, and what happens? We done the little Philadelphia little QB thing. I forgot what it's called. We executed it. He would have had a first down, but what happened? A false start. So now it's 4th and 5. We punt the ball. What happens when we punt the ball? It's either the block punt or the punt return for a touchdown. Like stuff like that. So a penalty in that possession, which we converted and got the first down, that was basically the whole afternoon. So no run game. Going to the receivers. Well, you guys know the penalty stood out. So false start. Kelvin Banks. He's a rookie. Yes, I'm gonna get on him a little bit. He got to clean that up. But I'm gonna be honest. The first 2 games, I think Kelvin Banks been doing exceptionally well. These are the things I look at. I'm not about to hop on Kelvin Banks and be like he garbage. He lost us. No, that was 2 poor decisions he made. As a rookie, I expect a rookie to make mistakes. So then now we 0-3. So when we look at the first 2 games, and I'm talking about offensive side. So now we went up there, we got our butts whipped, but the first 2 games we was in positions to win the ball game, and as an offense, we didn't execute. We didn't help Spence out at all, dropping passes and Olave not getting open and things of that such. So now we get here, we get worn out. Now we're in a 3-0 deficit. And then this time, these penalties that was happening in games 1 and 2 offensively, these really resulted in points. It resulted in points on the board. So I'm gonna get to the comments, man, before I move forward to the wide receivers. But basically, the run game was just shut out, man. And like I said, you guys seen it. Like, is it really too much to be talking about. I'm not about to whine and stuff tonight, man. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't expect, and this is for the 100th time I'm saying this. I didn't expect us to be, in the division fighting, possibly winning the division. I didn't even have us in that realm, but the way these 3 games has went, or just minus the, just say we took an L with Seattle. Okay, we took the L with Seattle. So games 1 and 2, we could have been 2-0 in those games. We didn't take advantage of Brock Purdy being out. Game 1, you seen what happened with that. We didn't take advantage. We didn't take advantage of that. So then we go up to Seattle, lose. Now we got Buffalo coming up, and I won't even get into that. Because Buffalo and Seattle, to me, that's 2 different type of teams. The Bills is on another level right now, and I'm just being honest. But I'm not discussing that at this moment. But that's what it just makes you look back at games like this, games 1 and 2, regardless of how I thought the team was going to be. I didn't think we was going to just lose every game, but the way things is about to pan out right now, we definitely 0-4 is definitely looking at us in the eye. Unless we just pull an upset, that's the only. It's going to take luck or upset or Josh Allen's them just not coming out to play, and those type of games happen. But far as like Imano, we already know what's about to go down. Okay, JT said we don't have dogs on our team. We don't have no dogs on our team. We have puppies on our team. We have puppies, and that's defensively. And Alante Taylor, I'm getting on him too. I keep talking about a bag and put Tay out there, man. I'm miss me with that. I'm trying not to cuss like that, man. To be honest, on the pod, but these guys, man, they definitely tempted me to go crazy on them. Shout out to the Nola Chop podcast. Shout out Kyle the Great. Our special teams is dumpster juice. But Kellen Moore got rid of a Pro Bowler that's been on the team for a minute. I mean, I don't know what went into that. Um, Definitely his vision wasn't there, and it exposed ourselves against a good team. Against a good team, it exposed ourselves. So you don't think the next team and the next team that they're going to look at that special team and be like, okay, we definitely can work with a special team. So let's just make sure our punt returners we get our dogs back there and make sure we execute on this end. We can get points off of the special team. You don't think the next teams is about to do that? Absolutely. But you getting rid of Vet and JT Gray. I know he was going on 29 or 30. If he's still producing, let him stay till he can't produce no more. It's guys like that, and he really been a staple for this Saints. Yeah, his name wasn't out there in the limelight and stuff, like he getting all the catches and stuff, but special teams, he was one of the best, if not the best special team player in the game. And that's facts. This guy done made like 4 or 5 Pro Bowls on special teams. But this is the guy we let go. Okay, I see Miss Dana in the building said, who that family? Who that family? Miss Dana said, we don't have any talent. We definitely don't have any talent, Miss Dana. We definitely don't. We don't have no number 1 corner. We don't have none of that. But like I said, getting on that side in a few minutes. I'm going to read these comments, then I'm going to get to these wide receivers. Shout out to RG Scott said, who that? The game was too comical for me to be mad or upset, but my goodness. I'm going to be honest, fam. I had a situation that happened yesterday. I was unable to catch the game, but I was just looking at my phone. I was like, well, of course, I'm going to have to just have to catch the replay when I get home. But when I seen the score and stuff, I just decided to watch it a couple hours ago when I had free time. So to be honest, I'm really glad I didn't watch that live yesterday. But yeah, even just watching it, it was very comical. Very comical, fam. JT said no leaders, no game changes, no yards after the catch, no consistent pass rush. No game changes offensively. No yards after the catch. No yards after the catch. No yards after the catch. But we supposed to have a number one receiver on the team. Man, miss me with that. Miss me with that. Miss Dana, okay, I'm gonna pull that comment back up. Let me just read a few more. The game was over after that 95-yard punt return for a touchdown. Yeah, it was over, fam. It was definitely over, fam. JT said this is not Kellen Moore team. He inherited those players, Kellen's players in the drafted players, and a few free agents. This is not Kellen Moore. Yeah, for the most part, it's not his team. For the most part, and that's fair. That's fair, JT. Now you really making me think about it because would he have had Kool-Aid out there as the number one? I mean, he was assisting with hyping up Kool-Aid. And like I said, we're still on the offensive side, but these are just things that you made a good point. This is really not his team. Players like that is out there. Killer Moore didn't, he didn't come in and say, okay, let me draft this dude, or let me trade for him. He really didn't do none of that. The guys he traded for was like some solid pieces, and that's what we really could afford to do at the moment. Now, with that being said, the way the cap is looking that's off season, Mickey, if Mickey gon' I'll be Mickey gonna have to walk away. That's how he gonna get out of here. So far as me saying Mickey need to go, I'm not saying that until this guy get out of here. That's just a loyalty trait that the Bensons done gave him, and Sean would have had the same way. You see, Sean, he left because he wanted to go. So that's something totally different. Mickey wants to be here, so why he here? It is what he is. So besides all the BS he does, he's been doing with the team. And really, just to hit on Mickey just for 2 seconds. All this, I know it's some players saying like, Mickey is one of the best with managing. Okay, Mickey did do good with getting us under the cap, but at some point we still had to pay for it. So, like, what is we talking about? And then we execute when he put us under the cap. Did we bring in the right pieces? Absolutely not. So he done what he done, putting us under the cap. But you're the guy that's writing the check for guys we supposed to bring in. And to be honest, I think every GM in the league is mathematically smart enough to get their team under the cap if they need to do so. I don't think that's just a individual trait. We just happen to be in position to where Mickey had to do that if we wanted any chance to bring in somebody. So, miss me with that. When it happened, we was like, yeah, but to be honest, he had to do that. Or the team had to be under the count before the start of the league year. So that was nothing exciting or anything. Like, yeah, we was able to keep this and that, and then what happened? Maybe we should have traded off those guys and got some decent draft capital before they got to the age they is now. Maybe we could have traded a Cam Jordan or a AK a few years ago and got a sack of the third. But at this point in AKs, if we try to ship them off now, they're gonna be wanting no higher than maybe a fourth. I don't think nobody's not going for a third or better for AK. And it ain't because he can't perform, it's just the years on his belt. So that's just the position we're in right now when it comes to the old heads. But I just wanted to just say that on Mickey. Because it's some ones that's taking that, oh, he got us under the cap and made some space. And then what happened? He was behind signing that pencil, breaking guys in. So you can get us under the cap all you want, but when it came to scribbling that pencil for particular guys you brought in, nothing helped out. So miss me with that, man. So the ones that want to clap for getting them under the cap, okay, whoop-de-doo. But looking at players in the draft and all of this stuff, you really you the shot caller. I know Sean was here and all of that, but really you could have pulled Sean aside when he was about to get Davenport. Been like, hey man, what the F is you doing? Like, what is you doing? You really about to get a guy that got potential, and we can take a chance on him. Had him sit behind Drew Brees, but you were scared to just hit him across the head. Right? Could be like, hey man, we not gonna do that. So that's basically where we're at, and that's facts, man. That's facts. We could have had Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson about to play right now on prime time. We could have had that guy. Just imagine, and I'm gonna say this, man. I'm gonna keep it moving. Like I said, the post game is really not a lot to even discuss, but I'm gonna discuss, part of the game. But look, the thing with Lamar Jackson, if you think about it, he really didn't take off like that till like his third year as the QB. I'm talking about as starting for the Ravens as the QB. Like that's really when he started taking off and stuff. So imagine if he would have sat behind Breeze a year. I don't think it would have went 2 years, but just say a year compared to sitting behind Flacco. You don't think Drew would have been working with him on his accuracy and stuff and like his IQ and stuff? He got it now, but I'm just saying, like we had the guy right there. We had a franchise QB right there. And this is where we at right now. We got guys, we sit here talking about some Tyler Show. Tyler Shuck. They miss me with that. Okay, man. Reading this comment, then on to the receiver. RG Scott said, hopefully next week will be a track game for Buffalo. I mean, hopefully, fam. I mean, if it is, then we'll be 1-3. But just looking at how the team was operating, we couldn't. We may just say if we do squeeze off, the reason behind that is going to be because the Bills didn't come out to play. That's the only way we probably squeeze something off like that next week. But just these first 3 games, undisciplined football. That's basically the writing on the wall for this. Undisciplined football. Guys dropping passes and then penalties and then when the young guys start doing it, now we all on their neck. And I know Kool-Aid, a young guy, like I said, I'm going to get on him in a minute. Okay, so going to the receivers. Chris Olave, he had 10 receptions for 58 yards. 10 receptions for 58 yards. I'm gonna make sure 10 receptions for 57 yards, 5.7 yards a carry, a catch. His longest was 9 yards. And I don't know who the Joby guy is at corner, but he played solid yesterday. But you telling me the Joby guy, unless I'm kind of behind on the QBs in the league. But I don't recall the Joby guy being like I'm talking about like one of the elite corners in the game. And you telling me you couldn't get off on him? Or you kidding me, Olave? But you won't. We talking about payday. We're really talking about a payday for Chris Olave. This guy's not a number 1 receiver, y'all. This is not a number 1 receiver. Why is Jawan Johnson? To me, Jawan Johnson is. To me, it seems like Jawan Johnson is getting more targets than Olave. Now, I'm pretty sure Olave done got more. I think he had the most targets on the team going into the game, but just by the eye test, it seems like Jawan is the one making, the tough catches and stuff for the team. You doing little out routes and stuff like that. Like we need you. You're not a game changer. So what Mickey is about to do, just say Chris Olave get around 8, maybe 900 yards. He gonna be trying to throw the bag at him. Mickey, if I were you, man, I would get this. I would see what the price is for Olave. See what the price is for him. And unless now don't trade him for nothing. Now if a team talking about a fourth or lower, then no. No, I don't agree with that. We shouldn't be trading Olave for a fourth rounder or lower. But if we can get a third for Olave, I'll take that. I would take that any day. A third for Olave. That's better than him getting in the free agency. And what you're gonna have is one of these teams. What you're gonna have is one of these teams, maybe like a Vikings or somebody like that that'll bring Olave in. They'll give him a nice little payday to complement Justin Jefferson. A team will give him pay him pretty nice, not elite receiver money, but a team would definitely take a chance on Olave to be a compliment to somebody, unless it's a garbage team that'll overpay for him. But to be honest, we don't need this guy on our team beyond this 25 season. Because if he's on this team beyond the 25 season, him and his agent gonna think that he worth this, and like, come on, bro. Come on, bro. Let's just keep it honest. JT said we don't have a number one wide receiver, no number one corner, no number one tight end. And that's facts, fam. No number one tight end, no number one corner, no number one wide receiver. So we basically got two number two wide receivers on the ball club. And really the yak yards, he's miles ahead of Olave in the yak yards. Unless I'm tripping. But the eye test, Olave's yak yards is way better than Olave's. Shaheed had 4 catches for 42 yards. That's what, about right at 12 yards a pop. Right at 12 yards. Let me look at it. Okay, Shaheed had 4 receptions for 42. That's 10 and a half yards a pop. That's first down. That's first down catches right there. That's better than 5 yards a catch. Miss Dana said we don't have a number one at anything except running back. And that's a fact. And we're now, as far as the QB, I'm gonna take that out because right now the QB, we kind of in a, how do you say it? We're kind of in a like a QB test or something. However you want to say it. But I'm gonna take QB out the equation, and I'm gonna just see how Rattler plays out. But I will say with the QB position now, in hindsight, like, do we got a elite QB or something like that? No, we don't have an elite QB at the moment. Now we'll see how he plays out. But I will say Spencer being involved in these losses, I can't. I'm not gonna stand on that. I can't stand on that because my eye test don't show me that he. Now I'm not saying he played perfect. Yeah, it was, especially the Seattle game. There's a few throws he could have had back. Like any one of us can say we expected to see a few, some bad throws from Rattler. This is basically, I know he got in last year, played some, but he had we talking about this year. Like he had guys worse than what we got out there now. AK not out there the majority of the time. AK was banged up during that time. So, as far as the QB, the verdict is not out in that position. I'm not even going to include that position, but everything else, we don't have a number one anything except, and I'm talking about skill position. Number one anything except running back. As far as like Kevin Banks for Walker, I think for Walker can. I'm not even counting the line. I'm just talking about skill position. We don't have We don't have a number one at nothing, like you said, Miss Dana, except running back. We don't have a dog at linebacker that other teams. JT, we don't like who over there. Who over there is the team like, hey, take him out of the game. Like, take him out of the game. Ain't no team saying that. And there's no disrespect to Mario. The Mario, he's starting to get on the Cam level in my eyes. And what I mean by that is, far as my expectation, I'm not expecting the Mario to be at a Pro Bowl level. Really, what I expected going into the season was for Pete to take that next step ahead of the Mario. And he be that guy that we fear. He be the guy that teams fear, but we don't have that. We don't have that, JT. Man, they looking at Pete Warner and saying, man, that's lunch meat. Let's get through the whole man. Truck this dude. That's what they saying. Run a little ISO up the hole, man. Pete Warner ain't about to send me back to the huddle, man. Man, straighten my helmet up. Gonna run right through that little boy. That's how they talking in the locker room when they got the film on. Big facts. So, like I said, for skill position, really nothing occurred, man. At the skill position, the running back position got shut out. Spencer did all he could do. Like I said, there was a few throws that he could have had back, but that's to me, that's just part of the process. I expected Rattler to come out, at least at the start of the season and had some bad throws. That's part of the work in progress, part of progression. You're gonna have some ups and downs. But as far as turnover, really, that turnover at the end of the game, he hasn't turned the ball over in my eyes, because I really don't count that turnover right there. That turnover, it wasn't a 3-point deficit we was in. It wasn't a 7-point deficit we was in. It wasn't a 5-point deficit we was in when he had the ball and turned it over in crunch time. But then that's another thing. Why do we got Spencer in those positions when we got some vets on the team that should have had us out of those positions? Guys that, talking about payday in training camp, talking about you want to prove that you're worth, you ain't proved nothing, bro. Olave, you ain't proved nothing, bro. Blake Group, it's time for them to bring in, I don't know if Charlie Smurf, if that's how you say his name, I don't know if he done got picked up by a team, but it's time for him this week to go ahead and bring him in. Let him stand on the sideline and watch Blake Groupie this game. And then the Blake Groupie, if he want to shank another kick, it don't matter how the game was going. That's beside the point. When you get out there and kick the freaking field goals, make the field goals. And that's crazy. What was the difference from last year to this year? Last year, you was looking really solid last year. So I don't know what happened this year to where you can't go out there. Is you trembling? Is you shaking? Like, are you nervous because you got the C on your chest? You got the C on your chest because the coaching staff believe that you can go out there and put us in position. That's what you showed last year. Now you out there shaking in your pants. You shaking in your pants, bro. OG said Charlie Smith or Smurf, how you say it. Bring him in, put him on the sideline if you're not going to make a change this week anyway. Something got to happen now, man. Like I said, it doesn't matter how that game went. This is your third game missing a field goal. And I know in this one, it happened to be a 51-yarder, so it just is what it is. When you get on a trend of missing, it really don't matter where it's from if you continue to miss. This is what it is, man. So offensively, like I said, those penalties killed us offensively. That 4th and 1, we done the little Philly thing, made the first down, false start. I don't forget on who it was. Backed us up. We punt. they either cribbed that punt or they got in field goal range. No. They either cribbed the punt or blocked the punt and got them in field goal range. It was about, due to the offense and special teams, man, Seattle had the football with at least in a 50-yard field goal range, 85% of the game? At least 50, about 50, 51, 52 yards. They was in field goal range for a long shot. I'm talking about just starting off on first down, receiving the ball off of a punt or where they took the punt. Their punt return took the ball. Like, that was just atrocious. But I'm gonna go ahead and get on the other side. Like I said, man, I'm about to catch this Ravens game. Man. Ms. Dana said, I would like to see Vail and Trey Palmer on the field with Spencer and see the difference it makes compared to Olave. I'm gonna be honest, man. Trey Palmer, I don't know exactly what went down with, why the Bucks got rid of him or why they waived him, but it's some potential in Trey Palmer. Why not put him in Brandon Cook's position? What is Brandon Cook about to provide for us at this point? What, a 3-catch, 26 yards, 3-catch, 30 yards? You might as well get that to Trey Palmer or Mason Tipton. Give it to those guys. Because Brandon Cooks ain't about to make nothing shake, and I really wasn't expecting him to come in and make nothing shake. To be honest, I was kind of wondering why was he going to be our number 3? This is things I said in training camp. I'm not trying to look like like the smart guy. Not like, it ain't about being the smart guy. Some things are just facts. Man. I'm not saying Brandon Cook should be demoted. I'm just saying at this point, where nobody is being a game changer at the receiver position, even she to an extent. Now, he have made some deep catches and stuff like that. That one-hand catch, the 49ers. This game, really, nobody got off like that. But put Mason Tipton, Trey Palmer, Vail. Let these young guys go out there and eat. You might as well see what you can get. It ain't no use of, like, for real. So, yeah, I definitely agree on that. Shout out to Miss T Mama, who that CB. Welcome, Miss T Mama, to the podcast. Welcome. I'm not going to say disgusted because, like I said, I'm not even shocked I'm not shocked we're in the position. But with that being said, given how the Cardinals game played out when we was in position, the Cardinals game, we had vets not helping out Spencer Rattler. So, yeah, that's going to be an issue for me. If we would have went out the Cardinals game and just say Spencer was having his little rookie mistakes and, the rookies was, getting torched and all of that, then I would have a, little different say in it. I wouldn't be affected as much because it's just part of the process, part of the rebuild process. But when you got the Jawans and the Laves and guys like that, that's supposed to be a solidified starter, so they say solidified starter, and you're not even helping your quarterback out, then that's an issue for me. And then you go into the 49ers game. Brock Purdy not there. George Kittle not there. Brandon Ayuk not there. So really the only focus as far as game changer is McCaffrey. That's the only guy you got to worry about. And we still let Matt Jones get off. No turnovers. I think he's like 14 or 18, close to 300 yards. Then we come to this game. Now the things that we was doing in games 1 and 2, the penalties and the false starts and stuff, that bit us in the tail. That bit us in the tail along with special teams not showing up. So it was just an ugly day yesterday. So yeah, that frustrates me when the vets is not helping these young boys out. So okay, so to the Saints defense. The Saints defense, I'm gonna go ahead and start out with Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid definitely was getting torched yesterday. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, who that nation. And I'm not trying to throw dirt on Kool-Aid. Honestly, Kool-Aid, this is his second year, so he's still considered a young boy to me. But my thing is, I blame this on the coaching staff. I blame this on the coaching staff. Why is you allowing this guy to be the number one guy? He didn't show no traits last year. Unless I'm tripping, he didn't show us no traits last year that he was going to be our number one guy. And that's why I was saying in mini camp, going into training camp, Tay was supposed to be our number one corner. Now, what Tay been doing, especially this game, like we talking about bad for Tay. I'll get into him in a few seconds, but I just thought Alante was going to be our number one guy. That only make things right. Why you throwing a young guy out on the island and it doesn't get better next week? So why do we got Kool-Aid as our number one guy? You threw him in the fire. So yeah, Kool-Aid, no. Definitely, I just see T Mama said Kool-Aid, no sir. You right about that. I do blame the coaching staff for putting him in that position though. Because I think wasn't Kool-Aid banged up a little bit last year, so they can't say that he went out there and done this, that, and the third. So that's why the team, I'm gonna be honest, you had Will Johnson sitting right there, and we wanted to go with Shuck. But that's another argument for another day. Because just those two throws, man, something about that just pissed me off, man. Just let Spencer finish the season, please. And I'll just leave it at that. But anyway, man, oh boy. Anyway, back to Kool-Aid. I don't know why they threw him in that position just because he was hot in training camp. So basically, if you're going off a train, if you're gonna react like that off a training camp, then why Mason Tipton ain't in the ball game? Because to be honest, offensively, Mason Tipton was the highlight of training camp. I mean, do y'all agree who that nation? Who was the star of training camp? Was it Mason Tipton or Kool-Aid? I mean, they say Kool-Aid was, eating like that, but in the preseason, I didn't see nothing when he was out there. So we really just going just off of practice when you got, preseason work to really see what he like. So what is we doing? Why Mason Tipton man out there? If we're gonna throw Kool-Aid in the fire, why Mason ain't getting no reps in the slot? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Who that nation? If anything, man, you got a 3-year vet going into his fourth season. Alante, I'd rather Alante get that exposure than the young guy. Now his confidence is torn. You let this guy travel with the Jibba Smith or whatever, however you say his name. So how do you think that played out? Then Alante got work too. Okay, on to Alante. Alante, do I see CGJ tendencies in him? I mean, is he displaying that type of play from that CGJ brought? They traded CGJ. You was supposed to be the next guy up. I think that was the reasoning behind them trading CGJ in the first place. I know contract numbers had something to do with it, but you was supposed to be that next guy up. You supposed to be the next guy up, and you out here getting burnt and stuff. And you before the preseason, you talking about a bag, like you want to get on the outside and prove you can get that bag. Where? Shout out to my guy who that 5L. Where? I can't wait for the phone line show on Wednesday, man. Who that 5L? If you hear me, I want you to be one of the callers, along with everybody that's tuned in here. Please, just for a reminder, Wednesday night will be the fan call-in show. So I'm going to get on, work on bringing the show, and then I'm opening the phone lines just like I did last week. and you guys can have at it. Thoughts and opinions. I want to give y'all the floor to talk, man. This is the type of podcast this is, man. I want to interact with the fans. Let you guys talk. Miss T Mama said, "What happened in Seattle?" I'm gonna be honest, Miss T Mama. I mean, I'm pretty sure you know what happened now, but if you really didn't know, it ain't. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, Miss T Mama. Fortunately, that happened mainly the cancellation because to go up to Seattle is expensive. It's more expensive than Cali. Would have been pissed off if all that money was spent knowing now. Oh yeah, I agree with you, Miss T Mama. And to be honest, man, I'm gonna attend Saints games this year. Like the Saints, they when they come up to Charlotte and play, I'm gonna be out there. And then I'm going out to Tennessee, watch that game. So I'm already going to two games. Will I be coming down to NOLA this year? I'm debating that right now. I love NOLA, man. I love NOLA. Um, to be honest, if I come down there, it's only gonna be just to turn up in NOLA. That's it. I mean, I'm talking about when I'm spending my money. That's gonna be the only focus. Of course, I'm gonna go to the Saints game and stuff, but it's not gonna be because I want to watch the New Orleans Saints play. Because I mean, at this right now, I don't want to invest money into this team. Going to the live game, watching undisciplined football. That's not what I want to be seeing. JT said, everyone, those reporters say is the darlings of the camp is not true. Kool-Aid, I'm gonna be Kool-Aid. They said, according to the reporters, Kool-Aid was the guy out there shut things down. He was supposed to be the guy. And obviously he not the guy. But like I said, on the other hand, I do blame the coaching staff for throwing him out there. For throwing him out there in the fire like that. Because what did he do to prove that he was the number one corner? What did he do? Have a good training camp? And I'm going to say it once again, if Mason Tipton isn't out there in the lineup, why is Kool-Aid? Because Mason Tipton was out there balling. And he went in the preseason and done the same thing. So why is it Mason Tipton getting reps? I'm kind of thrown off by that. But we're going to throw Kool-Aid out there as our number one guy. Confidence shot. Young guy, but confidence is shot right now. You out there getting smoked. You getting smoked by the Who That Nation. One lens, I can understand you get smoked. They put you as the number one guy. You was talking that ish, in the training camp press conferences. So you gotta stand on what you saying. You a grown man, you gotta stand on what you saying. It is what it is. You gotta stand on what you saying. You talking like you gonna be that, like you gonna be him, then stand on it and be him. Not saying you gotta be no number one corner in the league, but that type of burn, man, no, that's unacceptable. If you need time to develop, then they gotta make the switch now. Make the switch now, Kellen. Make the switch now before we go up to Buffalo and you turn the young boy's confidence down. You turn his confidence down, man. You turn his confidence down. Get somebody else. Isaac Yadam, we don't need him in there because the more snaps and reps he get, I still hadn't looked into the draft pick. It's something with a draft pick with him. We lose a supplemental, pick or something like that. But that's about it. That's about it. Miss T Mama said Kool-Aid is not a number one. He is not better than a banged up laddie daddy. Still to this point, don't understand why we get rid of Lattimore. Still don't understand why we get rid of Lattimore, to be honest. Just is what it is. I don't understand why we got rid of Lattimore. And I keep saying that. Lattimore is better than everything we got on this team. And that's just the facts. Why didn't we get Will Johnson at 40 instead of getting Tyler Shuck? Why? These is the kind of questions we're getting asked. That's why I was saying back in training camp, well, towards the end of training camp, I wasn't saying that like Shuck was better than I wasn't saying that like Shuck is better than Rattler or anything like that. I was just saying if the competition ended that closely where it was too close to call, you might as well just throw the 40th pick out there. You might as well to see what he got early. So now what you about to do is if Mickey is smart, if he want to be smart and start trading some pieces, if we 1-6, 1-7, when is the deadline? Week 9. So we had 8 games in. If we 2-6 or 1-7 by the deadline, come on now. We got just respect for AK. Let's send him. Let's send him to a contender. Like, come on now. Let's respect AK. Unless he want to do a Cam Jordan and retire here. If he's not on that type of time, yeah, come on now. Let's do Cam. I mean, let's do AK some justice, man. Let's get him to a contender. Let him compete, man, before he start getting washed up. I see my boy B in the building. What's up, B? Don't understand why we got blowed out like that yesterday. T Mama said, I don't know either or JT Gray. Yeah, I don't understand JT Gray. I was saying that at the beginning of the show. But I know Keller want to put his guys out there, but why not just leave JT there and put your guy alongside JT? Because I mean, honestly, even before this ball game, like who was out there, special teams, who was out there really making something shake in JT's position, in JT's great spot? Who was standing out? Because I don't know. I don't know. JT was making the name stand out in the special team. And that's just being honest. Miss T Mama said, I'm gonna be so sad if they get rid of AK. I mean, yes. Yeah, I will. I will, because AK, to be honest, he deserved to at least been in the NFC championship. And he had multiple chances to be in the NFC championship. We had that Minnesota Miracle. It started with the Minnesota Miracle. Just think who that nation, the crap we done been through. The Minnesota Miracle. And then following that was the no call with the Rams game. No, 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 no. Let's go back. It started with the 49ers. With that 49ers when they hit Pierre. That game. Then we go to the Minnesota Miracle. And then we go to the Rams no call. And then we go into the Buccaneers. So AK done been through a lot here, man. But yeah, they definitely. I mean, I just wish we could have done more for AK. We could have done more for him, and that's just being honest. Jerry said 06. Yeah, yeah, that's true. But I'm talking about a team that was well put together, and I'm not taking away from the 06 team. But nobody, if we're gonna be real and honest, none of us expected Sean Payton to come out with that team, and we didn't know what we was getting out of Drew. And we didn't know how good. The only thing that really gave us hope was us getting Reggie. Us getting Reggie. Drew Brees was a question mark. Joe Horn, he was hitting about 30, if he was not in his 30s. So, like, as far as like, playmakers like that, like we really didn't have it like that. But we was able to make that 1-2 punch with Deuce and Reggie. We made that happen. But I can't count that year as far as like as an opportunity, because to me that was just more of a, well, in reality it ended up being, you know, I guess you can call it a fluke year because 07, 08 we went 7-9. So if you really got a solid team like that from jump, it'll show the following seasons. So after that, it took us 2 years to regroup, and then 2009, that's when we put that powerhouse together. So the potential was there. He brought the pieces in, and they start building together. And then we had to regroup 07, 08 to really assemble the team. Then 09 we came out there, and that's when we was like that. That's when we was in the playoffs constantly. The Bounty Gate year doesn't count. Okay, now those the 2014 through 2016, that's when we had the worst defenses in NFL history. So yeah, that's what kept us out. And that was on the coaching staff. But besides like those 4 seasons, we had 12 seasons. He was here 15 years. We had 11, 12 seasons where we was in the playoffs under Sean Payton competing. Okay, B said, yeah, y'all had some heartbreaks in the postseason, had multiple opportunities for multiple cheer. Yeah, agree. We had a lot of heartbreaks. JT said it's a young person game. We have to get young at the running back, linebacker, DN. Running back, I agree, JT. Now AK, he he might be he could, this one, the AK situation could get tricky. I mean, as far as like as a person and all that, yeah, he was a cool guy in the media. But when we talking about business, we got if we trying to get better as a ball club, it just gotta. And I know Miss T Mama, I know that the business part of it, especially the way this season, if it continues like that, we gotta make the business decision. If Mickey want the New Orleans Saints to rebuild and improve, if he want to put personal involved, then we can just continue to go down the road, and then we're gonna get in a state where we're having multiple seasons in the lottery pick. Multiple seasons where we're in the lottery pick. So, and like I said, I didn't mean to get off subject. I know I'm talking about the defense. I mean, what defense do we want to talk about? Sank, I seen him made a miss. I seen he got burned on a play. He's a rookie mistakes. I'm not about to hop on that and jump all over his neck. He was covering that Smith guy. He one of the top. He a top 12 receiver in the game. He's good enough to where Seattle that had no problem getting rid of DK. To be honest, so he's that good to where they was comfortable getting rid of DK Metcalf. Sam Darnold. You want to know his numbers? This is what I conclude the defense number. This pretty much wraps it up on how the defense played. Sam Darnold was 14 of 18 for 218 yards, 2 TDs, no interceptions, had 154.2 QB rating. 154.2. 18 passes, 14 of them completed. That's ridiculous. Going to the far as the rushing attack, didn't nobody really get off, but to be honest, they was in freaking field goal range. Like I said, almost every possession. So they wasn't getting the ball on day 20, on day 25, and had to drive up the field. They ain't had to do that game. They was getting the ball where they had to travel 20, 25 yards and this touchdown. That's what we gave to them yesterday. Absolutely pathetic and atrocious. The Smith Najigba, whatever, he had 5 catches for 96 yards. So that pretty much just tell what kind of day Kool-Aid had. Alante got in on some of that smoke. Sanka got in on some of it. Sanka, rookie, I'm gonna give him a pass. He wasn't even expected to start this season, so he got thrown in there due to injury, and he been playing solid. He just got burned on that play. It's gonna happen. But Alante, this the guy that talking that tough talk, talking about he want the bag and okay, stand on it, stand on it. He didn't stand on it. He ain't stood on it yet. Game changing plays. CGJ was making game changing plays for us. Other than that sack it with the Cardinals, what else have he made? A pass deflection and what else? Two plays only come up to me. I'm talking about game changing plays. Unless somebody can, say something, I don't know. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Everybody else, had 30, 40 yards. But like I said, the number speaks for itself. Sam Darnold was solid. I ain't taking away from him, but he's not no elite QB. That's elite QB numbers. Over 200 yards, didn't even throw 20 times. Just pathetic. JT said, don't wait till he is not worth nothing. Talking about Alvin and Pete Warner and Brazil. We need high draft picks. That's a fact. For some reason, and I'm not talking about I'm talking about the Twitter Saints fans and the social media Saints fans. They somehow think that we still got a chance to compete when the writing is on the wall. Like this team, including the vets, nobody is going to get off like that to where we about to be winning football games. I'm talking about the amount that's going to put us in position to win the division. And the way it's looking, you see how the Panthers got off yesterday. I didn't watch that game, but who knows if that could be a point where Bryce them like, man, I'm tired of this, and they's taking off. We might be the worst team in the division. I don't know. That's why I'm not getting on no round tables, no NFC South round tables. If I get on there, it's gonna be all peace talk with me, because peace and realistic talks. What I'm about to go on there and debate. Debate? What am I debating? Just being honest. I was gonna have a round table before the start, but I have a round table near the halfway point of the season with my own with podcasters within the fan base and just see where their minds is at. Do we need to make a move at the deadline, or you know how what are we looking at? Who looking hot in the college class? Let's go to the top 5, top 10 best players in college ball. That's where focus need to be at. If this trend continues, Chase Young, Chase Young, I really don't have too many words for him. He absolutely a thief and a robber. Miss T Mama, thief and a robber, 3 straight games. Cam Jordan come out and he have a heck of a game. Now the coaching staff want to just continue to set this guy up. They expecting Cam Jordan to consistently do that. It's gonna be a game here and there. He might have another game here and there where he had 2, maybe 3 sacks or something. Like it's gonna happen when you got a player like that that's been there and done that. You can take a Calais Campbell. He 38 years old, definitely over the hill from primetime Calais Campbell. But you're gonna have a game here and there where he gonna wreak havoc. That's just what it is. All great players is if you're playing that long, you're gonna have a game here or there, but a consistent no. That's why if when guys is of that age, they supposed to be rotating in and out. They don't supposed to be getting every snap. Because when you rotate in and out, that keeps your body fresh. They're capable of maybe producing an old self type of play. The chances are higher compared to being out there every snap count, like they got Cam doing. That's pathetic, but it is what it is. His T Mama said he lied and said his injury wasn't bad, but 3 weeks. 3 weeks. And I don't even know how it happened. How did it happen to that nation? I don't know what happened. JT said right now every team in our schedule is checking us with a win after yesterday. We went up against Matt Jones. Matt Jones and company beat us. No Brock Purdy, no George Kittle, no Brandon Ayuk. Jawan Jennings was questionable coming into the game. So he sucked it up and played through an injury, and he was still getting off. Like, what is we talking about? What is we talking about, man? Shout out to my guy WD said, is it really theft when the bad man handing him the bag? You right. You right. It's common law robbery right here. So they in on the theft, man. They in on the robbery. They in on the robbery. Mickey the one that handed him that bad, the 3 year, what, 54 million, 17 and a half a year. What? 17 and a half a year? For what? Where the stats at? Where? Where's the numbers at to prove he getting 17 and a half a year? Now that's something to laugh about, man. That's why I said, at some point it can get comical, man. It's definitely done got comical, within the fan base. Definitely done got comical. WD said horrible contrast. Gottschalk, Chase Young, Jawan, Cesar Ruiz. Cesar Ruiz, we need to be finding a trade partner. Seeing what we can get for Ruiz. If we get a fourth, if we can get a fourth for Cesar Ruiz, we won. If we can get a fourth round draft pick for Cesar Ruiz, we done got off. So they need to look at a team that's down on offensive lineman and let's try to finesse them. Try to finesse. Hey, we got a guy right here. Let's try to finesse a team for Ruiz. Because we know he ain't deadly squat. So WD said the devil himself is in the chair of the front office. That's a fact. But you got cats, the ones that want to defend Mickey, is sitting here talking about he got us under the cap. He had no choice but to get the team under the cap. So that ain't really saying nothing. He got us under the cap, and then when we had a little chunk change to get us somebody, what happened? So it's guys you could have been getting rid of guys soon. You could have pulled Sean and Personal. It got in the way of Breeze. If we're gonna be honest, Personal got in the way of Breeze. After that 2018 season, after the 2018 season, well, the draft pick where we were supposed to have Lamar Jackson. After that season, Lamar was supposed to be taking reins for the New Orleans Saints. And Drew Brees was supposed to be headed out in retirement on good terms. He still left on good terms. But I'm saying we would have had our successor to have a year to learn from Drew Brees. He learned from Joe Flacco, and you see what he got. I mean, yeah, the talent, some things you don't even have to. But I'm just saying, just to be in the room with Drew Brees. Like, come on now, what is we talking about? So we had chances to, but you got guys. This is where Sean Payton he took a gamble, and then when it all crashes down, and now you seeing that Lamar Jackson is out here turning up. Now you want to leave. Now you want to leave. So now you behind Mickey backloading these contracts, backloading Drew's contracts to try to thug them out some more, and this is where we're at. This is where we're at. Now we got a high second round draft pick that's probably gonna be on the bench the whole entire year. And the only way he come in is if we're probably like 1-7, 1-8, or something like that. But to be honest, that's gonna be unfair to Spencer. Spencer, the way he playing, keep him in the whole year. You just gonna have to eat that L, Mickey. Eat the L. And I ain't trying to be negative against Shuck or nothing like that, because he ain't had his opportunity to come in and play in the regular season. But we had a chance, like you had a chance to get, like, now if we would have got Jackson Dart, then it's and you wanted to go with Dart. I don't think nobody really debating that. And we could have got Shador too. I mean, and I'm just saying this: the way the draft went, we could have got Will Johnson at 40, round 3. Then we had 2 picks in the 3rd round. We could have got Shador in the 3rd. He dropped to the 5th. Y'all NFL executives, y'all talking about don't pick the guy, don't pick him, let him drop. Like, that's what we doing. Mickey should have been in there and been like, man, bump what y'all talking about. We trying to win. Like, we see what he can do for the future. That's just honest, man. That's just keeping it 100. You had a chance to, and really, you had a chance to get here. Shador is better than Tyler Shuck. I'm talking about right now. Now, can Tyler Shuck turn out to be a good QB? Absolutely. But I'm just stating out points, man. This is just facts that, you know, we may tend to overlook. And this is what's happening under Mickey Loomis. You know we need a freaking QB, or at least to bring one in to compete against Spencer Rattler. And you telling me you Shador got to the 5th round and you didn't get him? Like, what is we talking about? And honestly, we could have waited on Shuck. We could have got Will Johnson right there and got us a cornerback to help the competition. Not just handing guys. Kool-Aid didn't earn the #1 spot, in my opinion. He didn't earn the spot. Now, am I going to close the book completely on him? I'm not going to close the book on him, but do he need to be our #1 QB at the moment? Absolutely not. He need to be QB 2 or better. I mean, 2 or lower. And to be honest, the way it's looking, I don't even think he need to be starting right now. But who else do we have? You put Yitem out there, like I said, man, we lose a supplement on him. Something dealing with the Adebo move. So just stuff we got to think about, man. They don't need to put Isaac Yitem in there. Go ahead. What is it gonna hurt to put Quincy Riley out there? Start him out there next game. It don't make no sense, man. It don't make no sense. But who that nation, man? That's about it. Like I said, I'm trying to catch this Ravens game. It's not kicked off already, but it is what it is, man. At the end of the day, it is what it is. We're 0-3 right now, and we're going to Buffalo Sunday. So, and I'm gonna be honest. I work that day. I'm gonna still catch the game, but most likely we're gonna be getting a post game show on Monday instead of Sunday, unless I just come off and feel like doing one. But just another reminder, who that nation, please. This Wednesday night, we're gonna have a fan call-in show. Wednesday, let's see, we're probably gonna do it probably about 7, 8 central, but I have the details set out. You guys just be on the lookout on your social media page, whether you're on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube, and you will see that fan call-in show will be Wednesday night. It'll be Wednesday night. The time is not confirmed yet to be announced, but you guys call in. And like I said, I enjoyed that call-in show last week. Like literally, I met some new faces, man. Shout out to Who That 5L, and it was two other guys that wanted to call in. I encourage you to come back. Wednesday is the show. Wednesday, I'm doing less talking. I'm letting y'all come in and talk. And if y'all want to ask me something and make me talk, then I'll talk. But this is going to be you guys' show. I just want to start getting interactive with the fans. So some podcasts, you can't even, you don't have no shot of calling in or that's nothing that they do. But over here, I'm doing that. That's what we're gonna do over here. Shout out to Uptown. Uptown couldn't be on the night, but yes, that's what we're gonna do Wednesday. And we should have Uptown on the show as well. If not, your boy CB will be here holding it down. Just to be sure, like, subscribe, and follow the page. I appreciate all of y'all that tuned in. This is the WDN Chatline podcast. And it's always Who That, and I'm out. Who That?